everybody, Bob from Paw Productions here again. Gonna do a little quickie here on cooking with your food grains and preps that you've stored. Earlier we did a thing about the storage and the rice. We've done wheat and stuff, but you can also store corn. And what can you do with corn? You know, you see everybody say, I want to store wheat, and then they don't know what to do with it. Well, we're going to do another video later. It's going to show you how to turn corn that looks like corn or popcorn into what you're seeing right here. This is ground up corn, and from that grinder right there, just a cheap Corona style mill. You know, it's like a backup to my regular mill, but got to use it to see how it does. It does pretty good. Not the best. I mean, I've used a back to basic and a country mill, and they all work a lot better, but like I said, it does a job. For under 15 bucks, you know, can't complain. But anyway, this right here was just regular whole corn, and let me scoop it out so you can kind of get an idea. But basically what I'm going to be making, and to show you, is I'm going to just make some basic corn fritters, and I want to show you this stuff, and then we'll get to see the end result in a little while. So basically, give you an idea of how fine it is. It's just like regular cornmeal. Sorry for trying to do all this one-handed, home alone. But you can see how fine it is. Now, I could probably throw this through the mill a little bit more, maybe one or two more cycles through, and maybe get it more flour-like. But I mean, it's cornmeal. I mean, it's supposed to, you know, I'm always used to it being a little gritty anyway. So, got probably about 1 3/4 cups there, and basically I'm going to make a batter. It's going to be really simple. These things are easy to make. You just need a little bit of your cornmeal. Like I said, I got about 1 3/4 there. You saw me fill it. I've got some eggs in one of my measuring cups here. It's not much, and like I said, you can make these any way you want. And the way I'm going to do is I'm going to put some sweet cinnamon sprinkles in there. I got some regular cinnamon I'm probably going to put in here too, and they're going to make like a little dessert treat for later on. And it takes a little bit of milk. There's 1,001 recipes to do it. I'm just kind of winging it by hand because that's how I do things. I really don't measure. It's just the way I am. But there's a couple good, any good natural cooking cookbook will have recipes on anything corn, wheat, rice, bean related you can ask for. So I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to make my batter here, and then well, before I do that, let me show you what I'm going to be cooking in. Right now I'm using a Dutch oven, and it's on my stove, but as you can tell, it's a Dutch oven without legs. Now, some people are always like, oh, you got to get them with the legs. Well, you're not always going to be cooking outdoors. Most of us that, you know, are in all this are going to have, you know, LP, natural gas systems. Maybe you have a wood stove. So this style of Dutch oven you can put on a wood stove. In the bottom of it, it's got a grate that sits in the bottom to keep for when you're frying or you're baking or anything else from your food staying in direct contact with the bottom of the Dutch oven. And the lid is just your standard round lid. As you can tell, this one's been around the block a few times. It ain't exactly brand new. So, but that's what I'm going to be cooking them in. I think it's a little bit safer than using a skillet with the, you know, gas stove like this. But always good to have something a little bit different than just a regular raised Dutch oven with the legs. So, but anyway, I'm going to make this batter. I'm going to get this stuff going, and right before I drop it in the fryer, I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll give you some pictures of what it is afterwards, what it comes out looking like. But I'll be right back. Hey, I'm Bob from Paw, and I'm back. Well, here's what it looks like after everything's mixed in there. It's not much, just want to get it pretty thick, almost like a dough. Let it sit for a little bit. I mean, as thick as, coarse as this stuff was ground up, it's a little bit better to have it sit for a few minutes. But anyway, to scoop it out, just going to use like a standard little scooper and drop them into our oil, which is already starting to boil. So get some bubbles there. I need to turn it down a little bit. But pretty much I'm going to drop some of this in here. Hopefully I can try. I'm trying to do it once or twice single-handed. Hate to have to drop my camera in there and have a fried camera. But at least get one in there so you can kind of see it cooking, and then I'll shut the camera off, and when I get a bunch of them done, I'll show you what they look like. But here it goes. It was a little big, but pretty much pretty something simple to make. You know, a little water. I made these before, and the way I think it's actually easier to make them the other way is with actual prepped foods, with you know, powdered eggs and powdered milk and stuff. Last time I did it like that, it was so much easier just everything's powdered and mix it in and you're done. Doing it like this with raw ingredients, in my eyes, it's a little bit harder, but I'm not really a baker, so we'll see how they turn out. But anyway, I'm Bob. I'll be back in a little bit after we get a few of these cooked up and show you what they look like when they're done, and we'll go from there. Alright, here we go. Probably about 15 minutes later or so, after I've gotten all these done. They don't look too awful bad, do they? They didn't have any powdered sugar, so I just put some regular crystal sugar on top of them, you know. Like I said, these are kind of like a little sweet little treat. Have the finer you grind your cornmeal, the better these are going to come out, to be honest with you. I mean, I tasted one of the smaller ones that came out earlier, and it's a little crunchy, but still good. Nice little sweet treat. This is just a simple little recipe. Like I said, there's 1,001 different recipes on how to use cornmeal out there, either in books or on the web. But the important thing, and part of this video, not just to show you that I can cook something edible, is to tell you, or to let you know, or try to get you to try different things, is that you need to eat what you store. You also need to know how you need to cook it, how you're going to process it and prepare it to cook it. I mean, it doesn't do you no good to have 5,000 pounds of wheat or 5,000 pounds of corn, or it doesn't even matter if it's 10 pounds. If you don't know how to use it, it does you no good. It's like any other piece of gear in your preps. If you don't use it, you don't know. And cooking's no different. You know, you buy a Dutch oven with the legs, you try to put it on the stove, it'll work, sure, but probably not as good as one that doesn't have legs. Same thing on your wood stove, you know. So this is just a little show and tell on how you can do something without really, you know, going out or away from the house. I mean, I'm right here in my place, cooking away, training for the paw without even having to put on any gear. Matter of fact, I'm barefooted. So there you go. Anyway, later on we're going to show you the grinder that I used to make this cornmeal. We'll show you grinding some popcorn. It's not exactly what I'd like to grind, but I was reading up on the web, and everybody's like, hey, you can grind popcorn. It's the same as regular corn. Well, went out and got some popcorn to give it a try. You know, again, like anything else, you got to know it, got to try it before you buy it. And so I bought some popcorn, ground it up, made some cornmeal. Some of it's in here, some of this is regular corn flour, but we used a little cheap mill I showed you earlier, and that'll be a whole nother video. So stay tuned. We'll show you the grinder, how it works, and the end product of that. I'm Bob from Paw Productions. I hope this helped. Keep the ideas and comments coming, fellas. Really like them. Thanks a lot, and have a good day.